Another thing that motivates me, I would say, is, an experience that I've had a few times. When you play, it is very meditative.
Yes.
Music can take you to a different plane. And that has happened a few times for me.
Sunny will be mesmerizing because that is all they're doing. But hear what they are doing during the song. That is what I would like to do.
So it would be nice to be able to be financially independent as a professional performing musician.
Correct.
This is Built by Grit, where we celebrate hard work, courage, and the people who never give up. Real journeys, real lessons, real grit. Let's get started. I'm your host, Deepa. Today's conversation is with two artists who quite literally hold the rhythm and the melody between them. Srinath Bala, a Mridangam player, and Sandhya Srinath, a Carnatic violinist, come from disciplines that demand very different kind of listening, yet both are rooted in the same tradition of patience, rigor, and deep presence. What makes this conversation special is not just that they are accomplished musicians, but that they share a life while navigating two parallel artistic journeys, one anchored in time and tala, the other in melody and bhava. Together, they offer a rare window into what it means to grow, practice, and sustain a musical life, not alone, but side by side. In this episode, we talk about practice, accompaniment, invisibility, creative disagreements, lineage, and longevity. We talk about what it means to stay committed to an art form that asks for your whole body, your whole presence, and your attention, and your whole life. This is a conversation about rhythm and resonance on stage and at home. I'm really glad you're here. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sandhya and Srinath, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad
Pleasure to be here.
Looking forward to a great conversation today. I typically like to start the conversation with artists by asking them to share a little bit about their musical lineage, your gurus, your training, and what from that lineage continues to still guide you today. So if each of you could share a little bit about that, that'll be a great starting point.
I started training actually in Andhra Pradesh. I went to a boarding school called Rishi Valley School in Mumbai. Yeah. So my dad was in the Air Force. Of course, in our family, just like Sandhya's family, music was always there. My mother is a singer. My dad's always an advocate for music. My sister, of
Right.
course, is a seasoned artist, herself, dancer, come vocalist. So when he took me to the school, and he was traveling a lot, and he used to keep getting reposted at different cities. So my schooling kept getting changed every 2 years. So, and also I think he wanted me to being at a boarding school. So this was a J. Krishnamurti school where you actually live there. And there I had the privilege of learning from Sri Krishnan. He's no longer alive with us, but he is the senior most disciple of Palagat Mani Iyer. Because Palagat Mani Iyer used to teach there. And incidentally, MLB Akka was there. So I used to actually get, assembly lessons from her. Little did I know that she was such a phenomenal artist and guru of Sudha Raghunathan, as we know.
Right.
But Palkat Maniar was there too. So I just missed him. I joined in 82. Mani sir passed away in 81. So I just missed him. If I had joined the previous year, I could claim I'm a student of Palkat Maniar, but but very happy to
He is
to
your
have been
Manasika
initiated.
guru anyway, right? So you could still claim.
Absolutely. 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 So அங்க ஒரு 3 years I learned. And then after that, I came back to Delhi. There was a guru, Chandrasekhar, senior Chandrasekhar sir. So I learned from him for a brief 1.5 years. But then, of course, due to high school, I had to take a break. And then I would say 5 years of intense lessons at Chennai from Sri R. Ramesh, senior most disciple of Karakudi Mani. So I trained more in the Karakudi Mani sir's way. And then 92, I moved to this country. I did my master's and I did my MBA in the East Coast. And we have some history there too, Deepa,
Yes.
right? We went to MBA in the same school.
Together. Yeah.
So,
at the same time. Yeah.
and then, yes, we'll definitely talk about that. And in East Coast, I had the bhagyam of learning from Umayalapuram K. Shivaraman sir. And I think what I would say, it's been a blessing because Palgad Mani has two prime disciples are Karakudi Mani sir and Shivaraman sir. So for me, somebody read my resume and they said, this is a dream resume. You have learned from Palgad Mani's way and his two disciples, Karakudi Mani sir and Shivaraman sir's way. So I think they're all connected in some ways, and we'll talk more about lineage. They all have chosen their own paths. Sometimes I feel we choose our gurus or our guru choose us. I don't know. It is that journey that has taken me, and I am trying to blend all their styles into my own.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandhya.
So for me, I grew up in Delhi. So my mom is a singer, and she's the one who started us on this journey with the motivation of my dad. When Amma also grew up in Delhi, and she used to sing there. She used to win competitions there. So a lot of people knew her as the young singer, and wherever she went, she won prizes. And then after that, she had a break. She lost her voice, and she got married, went to Hyderabad. Over 10 years of break from there. And then when she came back, people kind of recognized her and said, how come, you have to sing? And they invited her to Tyagaraja Aradhana there and, said, you have to sing here. So after that, my dad suggested she should teach so that three of us, we are four siblings. So we will also have the idea of Carnatic music at home. So that we can also learn that way. Music will be a part of the household routine. So then Amma started teaching, and we all three sisters started learning vocal from Amma. And then I had a weak voice. Mala Porsche, I would not be able to reach some notes. So, Amma and Appa were talking about, maybe she should, learn an instrument. And at that time, sir used to pass our home to teach another, Delhi Sundararajan, who lived in the next block. So I overheard them talking about, me learning violin, and then I just caught on to that, and I kept pestering them. Please talk to Mama Porar, ange pointer, please talk to him, and then that's how my journey started.
Fantastic.
He was God's blessings. He agreed to start a violin for me. So I learned from him most of what I learned. I learned from him. He was a very, very good teacher, very encouraging. I was, he would give me lessons, and I would be prepared for the next week, next class.
Right.
Because I was enthusiastic, and I would practice. And of course, Amma was there, to keep that practice,
Make sure.
practice, right?
Right.
That is needed. Yes. And then while I was learning from him, I started playing koti kacheris and all that quite early. And he was a very encouraging guru. He would say, practicing in front of an audience is also important. And also getting concerts is, it's not easy. So whenever you get a concert, don't say no. So that's something I till today, it's very hard for me to say no to a concert. If I'm available and free that day, I cannot say no. That's one thing. So while I was learning, there was a time when T.R. Subramanian sir and Radha ma'am, they were very close with Lalgudi sir, Lalgudi Jayaraman sir. So
Yes.
Lalgudi sir had at that time, he had mentioned to them that, I want to propagate my fingering and my bari, yes, my bani as much as possible. So if you have anybody who wants to learn, you can send them my way. So I was very, very fortunate to, for TRS Mama contacted my parents and they wrote a letter to me, Appala inland letter, right?
Right,
Appa wrote
right.
to him and called us. We went to Chennai. I gave an audition. I was so nervous.
Of course.
Audition, and then he accepted me, Since I was
Wow.
living in Delhi, I could only go during I was still in school. I could only go during the summer vacation.
Summer break.
So
Okay.
summer vacation, I would go to Chennai, stay there, and learn as much as I could. Happened for about 3 years, and then after graduation, I went to Delhi University to do my master's in music. So, Professor T.N. Krishnan sir was there
Wow. Okay.
at Delhi University. So I had the, big honor of learning from him as well. So that's how I learned from TNK sir, because of course when I did my master's, my specialty was violin.
Violin.
So I would be mostly in his, in that room where he would teach others also. And most of my classes, practical classes were with him. So that's where I had the privilege of learning from TNK sir as well.
Wow, that's actually quite lineage that both of you carry with you, and I'm sure
God's
it actually,
blessings.
in fact, right? And then along these lines, right? I was just wondering, do you feel both of you? Do you feel like you carry the burden of having to impart a similar knowledge that you gained to the next generation?
I don't think it's a burden at all because we were uh, blessed with so many different lineage, right? And, it's bhagyam da. And whatever we could gain from that, Cholli Tarche, the gurus give you so much. From that, when you're a student, you take whatever you can.
Correct.
And then I feel, we both feel that it's our duty to impart that knowledge that we gain to, our students and whoever wants to learn. And I don't think it's a burden. We just try our best to, you know, combine everything, all our knowledge and
Absolutely.
give it out as much as we can.
Of course,
Yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely second that. I think it's we consider it as a divine blessing to be able
Yes.
to take that lineage forward. That's one way of putting it. But I think also the methods have changed. We can talk more about it. The way we were imparted knowledge was very
Right.
different. The way we impart knowledge now is very different. And both of us have been teaching for over 30 years. So
Yes.
our process also has undergone a lot of changes. So I think we take, of course, we did derive inspiration. Like, when we are born, there's something from our parents that we take on, right? There's some hereditary, there's some genetics, and there's some genes. Similarly, in music, we take our musical genes from our gurus, right? So we cannot ignore that. But also, I think what I would say is we are also growing as artists. So we have taken some of the best practices, I would say, from our gurus, and then trying to shape it in whatever other ways where we feel we can sort of contribute and help parents and students. And that's, I think, the journey both Sandhya and I have been blessed again to join together. And we run a school called Vadya Vidyalayam Academy of
Right.
Strings and Rhythm, where we teach violin and mridangam. So we learn from each other. I mean, as a couple, but also as professional artists. But
Right.
each of us in our own right try to impart to the best of knowledge based on our musical genetics that we have imbibed.
Mm,
Of course, our own family also has contributed, I would say.
Correct.
Correct. Like Sandhya's mother, my mother also has performed actively in dance. So Sandhya's sister is a dancer. My sister is a
Yes.
dancer. So
Right.
we also play for dance, and we also encourage playing for dance, which
Mhm.
may be a departure from how you're taught Carnatic music, right? So
Yes.
we have kind of evolved, I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Along those lines, since Sandhya, you mentioned your mom, I just wanted to let you know that I had the honor of learning a couple of lines from her. She taught actually a few sangatis of Tulasi Dala, so I still remember that. I have a recording of it.
Yeah, I learned the listening color from her too.
Okay, there you go. Nice, nice. So it's just a fun question. Do you remember the first time the both of you heard each other not as a partner but as a musician on the stage?
So I'll go. I don't think I have. I mean, I've heard a recording probably of hers. My Periyamma actually and Periyappa from Tirunelveli went and heard one of her concerts when she played for Niteshwari in Chennai. Krishna
Okay.
Krishna Sabha. And then I got first-hand feedback, as to how incredibly talented she is as an artist. So that is what I recall.
So what about you, Sandhya?
I think I have only after getting married, and
Okay.
we practiced together at home. So
So, Sandhya and Srinath, when you are performing a concert, what nuance do you wish the listener paid more attention to when they are listening to the instruments? Because I feel like the focus seems to go a little bit towards the singer. What is your what do you wish the listener pays more attention to?
when we are accompanying,
Yes.
I would say when we are accompanying, when the what the singer sings, we are trying to shadow them,
Mm.
but we kind of tend to not be heard.
Hmm.
Right at the time. Definitely the focus is on the vocalist,
Right.
but it is kind of because we are just hearing what they're singing and trying to merge with and then trying to play exactly what they're singing and shadowing them, exactly
Along the
the way
way.
they're
Right.
singing. Yeah, it would be nice, to be heard there, because generally what happens is if we don't do the same thing that the vocalist is doing and divert, or a sudden apaswaram appears, then people
They will
tend to look.
notice.
I would rather they don't look
Yeah,
at
they
it.
should not. They should ignore that.
Hey, you can say, hey, I was just checking if you're listening or not, But-
Exactly. I would say it's different for violin and mridangam. I agree
Mm,
with what Sandhya is saying, and I think, and after I got married to her, I would start paying more close attention. Of course, the attention is on the vocalist first because
right.
they are the main artists, and accompanists are always there to kind of support, right? But then I started following what Sandhya used to do as an accompanist, and
Mm,
how closely she used to follow the singer. The same song sung by the same singer at 10 venues is going to be different. The
different.
same song
Right.
sung by 10 singers is going to be different.
Yeah.
So every time the violinist has to match those sangatis and those phrases, and almost like shadow, but be in the not in the limelight, because the vocalist is there, because as the vocalist is the main, right? So I would say a violinist is doing an exemplary job if they are kind of not being, if they are being there and nothing is happening untoward is happening, like apashruti or something. It means
Right.
they're doing an incredible job. So I started appreciating the
Mm,
violinists who are
mm,
doing that. And then I could make out some violinists, hey, in the Sangati, they don't know and they're kind of playing it a little not very in a sure manner. Then obviously they are maybe not ready with that Sangati, or they are just new to the ragam or that Sangati or the song, right? And of course,
right.
as
Right.
artists, we all have
We
our
all
hits
evolve.
or misses. Exactly. And then from a Mridangist point of view, I think I feel again, Mridangist is also kind of in the background. They get their limelight in their Tani segment,
Tanis.
which I feel I think, and after learning from Shivaraman sir, I have tended more to appreciate more the song accompaniment part, because I
Ah,
feel
okay.
too much emphasis is given to Taniya Avartanam.
Mm,
And
mm,
people say,
mm.
oh, the Mridangist Taniya Avartanam was great. And all the reviews will only say that in one line, saying their Tani was mesmerizing. Tani will be mesmerizing because that is all they're doing. But hear what they are doing during the song. That is
Ah,
what I would like the listener to do. Because during the song, how are they embellishing the sangatis? How are they giving those gaps and complementing the singer, or sometimes even leading. When Sandhya and I perform together, when she's doing a swaram, I will be following her, and suddenly I'll be like, okay, you know what, Inge, we can take it this way. And I will kind of try to lead. Sometimes she will follow, sometimes we'll decide to part ways, right? For whatever reason. But I feel those are the nice things that happen on stage, which I want the audience, especially during Naraval, Swaram, Manodharman, that happens. And also in song. I think I would
Also,
even in
I
song.
think that we are able to do that when we are just doing a solo and,
Correct.
with Mridangam
Sure.
and violin. Not everyone will appreciate that if we do that.
For a vocalist,
Yeah.
right? Because they are
Vocalist.
the
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fair, right? They've practiced in a certain way, and for
Correct.
us, playing together.
Especially when it comes to spontaneity or manodharma and tempo. I mean, you probably sometimes, I'm sure, you get on the stage without rehearsing, right? Like you don't probably have enough time to rehearse with them, and it happens all the time. So how do you actually read a singer? What goes on in that process?
I think it's a lot to do with experience.
Mm.
Being able to, having accompanied for several concerts. To begin with, of course, it's like when I'm accompanying, most of the time I'm looking at the artist, the vocalist, when he or she is singing. So with their tilt of the head, with the hand gesture, trying to get as many hints as
Mm.
possible as to what's coming.
So
Right?
you are actually
Sometimes
reading the
they
body
themselves,
language. Yeah.
right. So have to try to read their body language.
Wow.
I think that has helped me in a lot of ways. Sometimes, it's a hit or miss sometimes, but total focus on
Mm.
what on the singer or the instrumentalist who we are accompanying. We have to have total focus, listening to them first and foremost. And then, of course, we have to be able to play. See, that is what the practice and experience
Mm.
gives us as a accompanist, as a violinist. I would say we have a tougher job,
Mm-hmm.
if I may.
Indeed. Yep.
Because we have to know our music, know enough of it to be able to play whatever ragam, whatever is given to us. Kind of take
Yes.
it and we have to, give it back. So that much of listening to music, understanding as much as possible about our music,
Mm.
and practice, of course, right? So that you can listen, because the job is to listen. It's going in, getting whatever,
Processed.
decoded, and then it has to transfer to the finger and to be played within a fraction of a second.
A second. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that, and as a violinist, we are supposed to know whatever ragam the vocalist has decided to sing that day. We are supposed to know all the kanakas, so a little bit of
Right.
the mridangam aspect, raga aspect, everything. We have to kind of know everything, and also bring it out without showing that, oh, we brought it up. Right? We have to be the shadow and just go with the vocalist as much as possible. It's so beautiful,
Indeed.
I think I always perform better when I'm able to enjoy the musician, when I'm able to enjoy this, the music that the main singer is producing.
Producing.
And
Yeah.
that gives us the joy and the enthusiasm to learn more of what they're doing and try to, it's also that's how we kind of communicate with each other, right? And respecting and enjoying each other's music makes us do better.
Fantastic. So Sandhya, what happens if you don't know the ragam that they're playing for some reason? Has that ever happened to you? How did you navigate it?
It happens all the time.
Great question.
Yes.
Great question.
So that is why I said we get a fraction of a second to take it in, decode it, and play. So that
So
is
you
what
are
comes with
actually
experience.
translating that into swarams in your head. Is that what's happening? Got it. Okay. Understood.
We have to within that, if sometimes it's a song which we can just shadow them, it's easier. Sometimes they, the vocalist will just decide to take a raga and start singing the alapane, and then they'll give us the opportunity. They'll sing 2 minutes and they'll want us to play for a minute or minute and a half, right after that. and we don't know the ragam. What do we do? So we have to listen to it really carefully.
Wow.
Figure out what notes don't go in there.
Right.
Figure out what notes do go in there, and figure out how they go. What is the sequence of the notes, and then what are the key phrases that are bringing out the raga bhava.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Wow.
keep
Wow.
listening, I guess.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, process. Srinath, do you have any perspective on how you engage
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
singers?
There's so many points that Sandhya, I think, touched upon, right? What she said was very crucial, right? You have on the 7 notes and you have different scales. You have to know which notes not to touch. Now, for Mridangam, it's not like that. It's not like we can't play some fingering. We can actually play all the fingerings, right? So there is more, I would say, more degrees of freedom for Mridangam because it's not type the ragam aspect of it. But what makes Mridangam challenging in its own unique way, because as Sandhya said, there are challenges for violin, there are different challenges. Because when the singer starts singing, at least for a violin, they have a fraction of a second and they can lag. For a mridangist, you cannot lag. You have to be on the rhythm. So I would say you have to be super strong on your layam. So your layam aspects, the accompaniment part, where is the edipo of the song? Where are the phrases? Suppose they are doing, you have to accentuate those aspects. There is not like you can't use some fingering. So like that we don't have that restriction, but it is more pattern based or mathematical based structures that you need to quickly decode, which like for violin, if it's a song that I have never heard, it is throwing a curveball on me. So I really have to figure out and take some guesses, take some assumptions, because I can't just wait and say, okay, what Sangati are you going to do? And then I will follow.
Right.
I have to be there in lockstep. So sometimes we will assume and we will miss, and we do miss. Then we retract and kind of, correct our path. And that's where I think one thing that matters is we are always, as you see, the violin and mridangam artists are always sitting, looking glued at the vocalist's, face. So we get those visual context. So if they give us a glare, it means you have not done something right. You definitely want to be on the defense when that happens. So Shivraman sir used to say,
Right. 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 Right.
they should not have that kind of an approach. As long as they are comfortable, they are able to do their manodharmam and do whatever they have planned. We are coming in and supporting, and we are showing our metal, and the two things go together. Sometimes they blend, sometimes they are in parallel, sometimes they deviate. That's Carnatic music, right? So we
That's a
have to
part of
figure
the
out
process.
there is beauty in everything. There
Right.
is beauty in all
Yes.
all those paths.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, after decades of practice and performance, right? What do you think still motivates both of you to keep showing up every day? Is there something about music that continues to surprise you even now?
Definitely. I mean, surprise you, Naga. Yes. I mean, I think the more you practice and play, the more you figure that there's so much more to learn
More
and
to
so much
learn.
more to, kind of discover. That is definitely one thing. There's a challenge, and you learn something every day. Like, for example, when we are teaching, there is a Sangadi that I've played so many times. When I teach it, I'm trying to teach it the same way that I'm playing. And when they don't get it, I start analyzing and then find out that there is so
Much more to it.
in there,
Mm.
So when I have to break it up, I realize, oh, there is so much in there that I'm playing. Just because of my experience, I'm able to play. But when I have to give it to them and I'm trying to break it up, it's so beautiful to learn that, oh my God, there is so much in there.
Right,
That
right.
kind of surprises, and, there's so much beauty in there. Another thing that kind of motivates me, I would say, is, an experience that I've had a few times.
Hmm.
When you play, it is very meditative.
Yes.
Music can take you to a different plane.
Mhm.
And that has happened a few times for me, that when you play, you don't realize where you are. You finish and then you realize, oh my God, I'm here. That kind of, I can't explain it. It's very meditative, very spiritual,
Right.
I feel, that it's not all the time.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I would like to, experience that again. Every time I feel like, oh, it would be nice to experience that moment of peace and just not being here, just being
Right.
in the music.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah,
That's thank you. Thank you.
it would be nice to get that every time, but but yeah, I'm still hoping I'll get many more of those moments.
Absolutely. I wish that happens to you more too. Srinath, your perspective?
Yeah, no, I think that's beautifully said. Sandhya said it very rightly. We want to, and I tell my students, right, you have to own that song or that
Mhm,
sangati or that
mm,
phrase. You have to own from start to finish. And when you start owning it, you start experiencing it. And then you
mm.
have moments of joy, moments of excitement, moments where adrenaline rushes, ecstasy, everything,
Uh-huh.
right? I mean, it's a mixed emotions where it can be a very meditative, where you're doing just some chapus or some dins, and there is some nice silence, or there is a nice
Uh,
gumiki
mm.
phrase, or something like that, right? You enjoy that. That is a very meditative or being in that moment. And when we are on stage for a 3-hour concert, it's hard to, it should convey different emotions because the
Yes.
audience is coming there to be enlightened, to
Uh-huh.
be going to a trance, to also be educated, to also be entertained. Thank you. So there are so many, it's like a movie. Like, you, and I compare our music to, when you go to a thali buffet, you want it all. You go to a movie, you want it all. You go to a concert, the artist has to showcase a series of emotions. So it's
Right.
not just the meditative, you want to have that firepower, moment. You also want to have
Mm,
that moment like, and then you can also experience a little bit of melancholy, like sadness,
mm,
because
mm.
maybe the song is conveying how Tyagaraja was pining for Rama's vision. Andartha namba dadbuda dadbuda alla, if we play, that is doing injustice to the composition.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct, correct.
There was so much
much emotion involved, and like it was
Yeah.
very beautiful. Entertainment.
Yeah. And I tell the students
enjoyment
that.
and
So they'll say, oh, uncle, can I just play like this? And I will say, which emotion are you trying to convey? Is it educative? Is it meditative? Is it excitement?
and
Then
the
they will say, oh,
audience.
okay, I have to change it, the cadence.
Right.
Right.
And we have varied audience, right?
Mhm,
Not
mhm.
everyone is looking for the same thing.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
each one has a different has had different experiences in life. They've heard so many more concerts. Some kids have not heard concerts at all. They are looking for entertainment. Another set is looking for some education. Okay, why this, why not that? And then and then the seniors are looking for that enlightenment.
And some of,
Right.
and I'll be honest, so we see a lot of people sleeping in a concert, puts them in a trance, and it puts them to sleep.
Sometimes it's good.
You don't want to wake those people up, right? Do we?
That is a positive spin to that angle. Okay, that's all I can say.
Enough
Uh,
பார்த்திருக்கோம். And also maybe the music is so soothing. And also as also as artists, we have to be, true to them. They are also human beings who've gone through a
right.
whole day of emotion.
Right.
When they come to the stage, we can't expect them to have the same kind of energy that they had 10 years ago.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
Or
the
even
mature
Mm.
ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the that they convey that day could be a combination of other things like the mic setting, like the temperature or the humidity or the vadyam. When we
Right.
were starting Vatapi today, my vadyam got heated up. So vadyam takes time. And because
Right.
of that, it will play with our emotion and maybe I will play it differently than I would have when I
Right.
was more confident
a
about it.
lot of variables
So
when
many
we are
variables,
performing.
right? So many variables.
Wow. 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 Wow.
And the other thing is the same Vatapi, we talk about audience expectation and then our audience, artist age, etc. We played Vatapi.
Uh-huh.
The same Vatapi has been played by umpteen singers, umpteen
Right.
concert venues. But there has to be something unique that we have to try and offer.
Mm,
And every time we do a Vatapi, we have to change the game. Maybe it's more on the meditative side. Maybe the speed is different. Maybe the structure or the cadence or the emotions that we are trying to convey should change. And it's a combination of what we are feeling at that time and what the audience reciprocate. Just like we look at the artist, we also look at the audience. Are they reciprocating?
But connect with them.
If you're not connecting,
If
we change.
there's one person yawning, it's fine. If 10 people are yawning, you're not doing the right.
There you go. Back to that.
You better do something to wake them up.
Wake them up. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. What are your biggest pain points you face today as a professional Carnatic musician? It could be physical, mental, or within the ecosystem of the Carnatic music the industry that you are part of. Are there any pain points that you wish could be changed?
I do wish, for me specifically, because I'm a, professional musician first. So it would be nice to be able to be financially independent as a professional performing musician.
Correct.
That I think would be the pain point.
No, that's a great one. In fact, I was planning on bringing that up, and I'm glad you actually brought it up yourself. Let's talk about it. I think it is something that needs to be discussed more openly because, especially high expensive areas like Bay Area, right? It is not sustainable the way things are going, and there is so much talent. And have you ever thought about any maybe like some potential other ideas of how it could be changed? One of the things I heard from other musician who I recently interviewed was she recommended, in fact, it was Snigdha. She said we should look into corporate funding. Why are we not tapping into that? I don't know. So some creative thought there, right? So what are some other ways that you think you have been able to?
Really nice. I don't know. I haven't really thought about this. Uh, there are, especially in Bay Area, it's, for kacheris, especially, I would say, there's no money involved. There's no remuneration. As an artist, if I want to be just a performer and be a solo artist, I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Right? It's a different thing that I enjoy accompanying. I for dance. I enjoy performing other kind of music, collaborate with other artists and teach. Right? That's the only, perform with dancers and
Dancers, yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard for the dancers because as
Yes.
musicians, we go and, accompany them. They, you know, tend to pay us for that. And it's more or less, it's a lot of arrangetums, to be honest, that we are, playing for, where we are getting paid.
But not for concerts.
Yeah, not for
Not for
concerts.
concerts. So that is I would agree that that's a gap. Now you talked about corporate funding. Absolutely, that is one option. We should have paid, tickets, concerts, right? In lot of
Yes.
in data.
But then
Temples have.
audiences don't come. They don't realize that we've put in so many
That's a
years
community
of,
shift.
practice to get to a certain level and be able to perform. But that's not appreciated financially.
So do you think it has to do with like this music is only mostly listened by the Indian community, right? You think there is an opportunity if we take it to a much broader people from different backgrounds? Is there a way to connect with them more closely? Because I see a lot of great musicians from India. They go to Paris to perform, they go to Belgium to perform. I really don't know if there is any remuneration involved in that or not. But why, living in such a diverse country like US, why are we not tapping into, the listeners who are outside of our culture? Is there an opportunity to build that community there?
I think there is, but I think the challenge is going to be because of a different mindset and a different set of audience. I would say Carnatic music is kind of like Shakespeare. You have to be a connoisseur to even understand what Shakespeare means, right? But somebody as a novel like Macbeth, you have to be an erudite person to even understand. But something like Dungeons and Dragons or something else that is one of the mill, like a commercial, like a bestseller, you don't need to be an erudite scholar to be able to read that and grachify from that, right? So I think part of it is education, and also, of course, reaching out to a more elite audience.
It needs a lot of PR.
That is a great
be
point.
able to connect with them. You have to take so much effort.
Great point.
But my idea is, you have taken this effort, so much effort to practice and get to, wherever you are now. And then you have to now work towards getting it out and trying to all the work is done by you.
You are the salesman. You are the technical. You are the after service, after sales support.
So there should be something where, I think some kind of corporation that would help artists.
Independent artists, especially these niche.
Get financial.
But I think that's going to be there. Even, you'll have other Asian countries, other European nations that have classical musicians who fall into this.
Yeah, probably. But another the point I would have is somehow, whatever, however good or bad you are, I would say, however good you are, if you have lived in Chennai and performed in Chennai and earned the name in Chennai, you are called everywhere. You said Belgium, Europe, wherever. And even the US, even in Bay Area, people are invited from Chennai and paid to come here and sing. They are paid. And when they get paid, they take it back and it's 80 times what they've paid, right? When they're spending it, it is, right? But the same artists from here are not getting that kind of opportunity or the payment.
That needs to change eventually.
That's kind of the reality. That is the reality. That is the
That's the
reality of
pain
things.
point for sure. Now that you asked and I'm thinking about it, yeah.
And
I would like to not that, I have anything against inviting people and they're all wonderful musicians. We all love to listen to them. But I feel like as musicians here and around, we should also be given that
Opportunities.
And I think Bay Area has a thriving music community. I know a lot of folks from tech have resigned from their jobs and taken up music like full time, right? Almost everybody cannot, not almost everyone cannot just, like Sandhya said, cannot just survive just on concerts alone, and Carnatic, like maybe you have to do jazz, like maybe you have to be an adjunct faculty somewhere. So there is some sort of a teaching element which people are okay to like pay for because they're paying for a service. Concerts are becoming known as, hey, it's free because I can go listen to somebody on YouTube for free. Every concert should be free, which I think should be changed. I think we should have more paid concerts. Any concert should be a paid event, and there should be some.
But then there should be audience. Audiences should support. That is the thing. If it is a free concert, some people come. Even that, slowly I'm seeing that, audiences are kind of
dwindling.
So I guess like we need to create more appreciation for Carnatic music among the next generation also, right? I like the 20s and 30s, they have a lot of distractions. I think the appreciation for the Carnatic music seems to have gone down. One of the things that I personally noticed is among my friends, because they think it's complicated, it's hard to listen to. So I'm sure we can do something about it in future.
Definitely. But Bay Area, I feel like there are a lot of youngsters, Bay Area specifically, I don't know about other places. There are a lot of kids who are taking it to the next level.
Coming out of high school, they would do their engagement and they're maybe pursuing it through college and then kind of.
They're coming back to it. They had to take a backseat during the graduation. A lot of kids are coming back and starting to learn again and start performing again. It's very, very nice to see that.
But I think to her point, it's also the audience, right? Maybe the audience. We still need to kind of attract and make sure that maybe we need to dumb down our music,
No,
not the way.
I don't know if that is the right of. Or maybe
that
just
but
create more.
If the audience says it's too complicated, then how do you reach them, right?
When you say the American, the other,
culture,
people, not just the unity, but
I mean, you can, because see, also there is a different, in different venues, you convey the same music can be conveyed in different ways, right? If it's a very erudite audience, we have done it many times. If we know the audience there is an erudite audience, we will up the bar and try to play more complicated songs or something like a bit maybe like with Marga Utsavam. The same concert, if it's in a public library or somewhere else, we have to tune it down. We can't do an RTP Pallavi there and say we're going to do it
In an
in a 3 hour
Varanam.
and do a 3 hour concert there. That's what I meant. I meant by when I say dilute,
Got it.
it's
Makes sense.
different content, maybe more digestible, maybe more smaller pieces which are easier to kind of shoot at the audience.
And like the ragams like Mohanam that most people can connect with, the things like that,
Yes.
in that nature,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Thank you. Understand. Thanks for sharing your perspective. That's really helpful. So you mentioned that you run a school currently, and you have been running that school for like 3 decades now, something along those lines, right?
Something like
We've
that.
been yes,
Yeah.
we've been running school for 3 decades. The Vadya Vidyalayam is turning 10
In Bay Area, it's been
Bay Area
because we
turning
moved to
10.
Bay Area
10 years ago. So
Got
that's
it,
turning
got
10.
it.
But we've been teaching under
Teaching.
Jayamangala School of Music and Dance, and Vadya Vidyalayam is kind of an offshoot.
And under that. And actually, Jayamangala is coming up on 35 years.
Wow.
We'll be-
Yes.
We were in Maryland, and that's where that was registered.
Yeah.
Back
And
in
yes, so yeah, we are celebrating 35th year this summer
So we'll be there in
Wow.
July and
in Maryland.
partake in a celebration. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yes, Shobhaka talked about it. So absolutely. Where do you see gap in how children and parents approach learning art in this day and age?
Bring up children.
I think we have been teaching in multiple places, right? We taught in the East Coast for many
Mhm.
years. We also taught in Bangalore for a couple of years. And then now we're teaching in Bay Area for 10 years. So I think with time, people's expectations have changed.
Mhm.
How they perceive education, how they perceive progress, etc., has changed.
Mhm.
I think the one good thing is access to information is more now than
Yes,
when
yes.
we learned 40 years ago. So when we learned, it was from a guru. The inspiration came from the guru. The lesson came from the guru. The attendance concert was live in person, and only that guru's concert and nothing else.
Hmm.
Now suddenly the whole world has opened up for students and for parents. So I feel, to be very honest, students might feel a little overwhelmed
Hmm.
and parents might feel a little lost because, hey, so and so's child is doing this and they have done an Arangetram in 3 years, whereas
Mm-mm.
I'm playing, I've been learning for 6 years and I've only done X number of concerts, something like that, right? So comparisons like that are bound to come and create confusion. I think what's important is that one has to trust the guru. I would say the core essence of whatever I'm trying to get to is we trusted our gurus. They gave
Yes.
us a knowledge. They took us on one path. We, as artists, have also undergone a lot of metamorphosis and changes along the way. And we have come up with a process now where I feel this is the process we're telling the students and parents. So the parents and the students, number one, should trust the guru and whatever they say. So if you're learning from X guru, trust your guru. It's easy to look online and say, oh my God, look at this artist and they've learned from so and so. Can I go learn from them for like 2 months? It doesn't quite work that way
Yeah.
because that's going to probably hurt you in the long term. And I tell my students there's three things that have to work. Number one, discipline. Arts teaches you discipline. If you're not disciplined, you are not going to get anywhere in any in sports, in science, in arts, especially.
Mhm.
Number two, you have to have a process. And number three, you have to give it time. So
Mm.
be disciplined, have that process, give it time, iterate on that process, make sure that discipline is continuing, give it time, and slowly see, success coming. And that's
Mm.
kind of what I have seen in my own ways. And I tell the parents that, then it kind of resonates. And then I will say, so and so student, our student did an Arangetram, they attended concerts. You cannot just practice and then expect a performance. You have to come and listen. You have to also bring that into your practice. You have to attend your own live lessons and slowly channel all that into performances and slowly see yourself progressing. So unless I give them a structured path like that, I feel they were lost. Now that I tell them, and Sandhya has her own process, we kind of have different processes because violin
Oh,
and mridangam are quite different, right?
sure, sure.
So I feel like we're able to guide some of the parents better now
Mhm.
than before. I
Mhm.
still feel for some children, they might try to take some shortcuts. Or,
Mm.
hey, at an hour we have, in fact, we if I can share, at Vadya Vidyalayam, after 10 years, we have our own rule book. We have a process. We have a guideline. Because there is no curriculum. There is no school book here, right? So sometimes parents are a little lost and they'll ask me, do you have a book of lessons? And then after a year, I'll tell them, I could have given you a 2,000-page document with all the core ways and all the lessons. Do you think it would have made any sense? It would be garbage. Unless you sit and you write down the lesson, and there is a process for you to do the cornucole and decode the lesson, do the math, and then come back, recite the cornucole, play it, perfect it, and then slowly see it bringing into performance. Unless that process is there, the learning is not happening, right? Just because there are concerts online, are you going to listen to it? Just because there are books online, are you going to go read it up? You come to class, you follow the process, you come back, attend more concerts, and then you kind of hope, be disciplined about it, come up with a process. And of course, we as gurus are always there to guide them and slowly give it time. We will start seeing the needle move. And that's when you're like, whoa, this is amazing. And that takes time.
Fantastic. Yes, it
Not
does
overnight.
take time. Sandhya, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely practice, right? One thing I've noticed is the kids here
Mhm.
and parents have too many things to do, right?
Right.
So if you're thinking what I've seen happens is music tends to be Carnatic music for a lot of people tends to be the just there, if other things make way for this, they will do it.
Right.
So if they
Right.
they take up Western music, they take up sports,
Robotics.
robotics, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo,
Right.
school, everything. After everything comes music.
Music.
So if there is swimming lesson, we have to, and they have a special class or whatever, so they cannot come for class. Something else, they cannot come for class. They did not practice because they had something else. So my thing is, if you have like 5 subjects in school, they're all giving you homework.
Mm-hmm.
You have to consider this as the
Subject.
subject.
As a subject.
Yeah.
And give it the same amount of importance
Attention.
and make the time. If they have 5 subjects and there is one more that comes up, in school, and they say, no, you have to do the 2 projects at the same time, they will make time.
Yes.
Come what may. They may not sleep the whole night. They will make time and do that.
Right.
But when it comes to music, it's like, they had that, they had this. And the children, of course, say that, I had this, so I did not do. And the parents are also saying that, he had that, she had that. So somebody has to be there. So it should be a tri-party agreement. Teacher teaches them. The parents have to make sure they practice. They get enough opportunities to listen to music. In fact, there's a lot more for the parents to do here.
Absolutely.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I understand their predicament. We are parents ourselves, right?
Right.
If you decide that music is something you want in your child's life, that has to be done.
Prioritized.
That has to be prioritized. That's the word, right? And I would like to urge all the kids to give it that importance. In the beginning, it is hard, right? It is not easy. So you
Correct.
have to keep doing it until it becomes easier. Only then you can get to the next challenge.
Right.
And we do see the result when the parents and the child decides that this is it, this is my priority, and goes for it. So that's one thing. So it's the child has to diligently practice, like Srinath said, trust the teacher, try to take everything that teacher is offering and take it in, do your due diligence, practice, and come prepared for the next class. The parents, make sure they are practicing. Make sure they are. The parent. I don't ask the parents to sit and take notes. Make sure the child is taking those notes. Just inquire. Did you take notes? Or remind them take notes and make sure they are practicing every day. Every single day. Make sure there is an opportunity to, and Bay Area, there's no dearth of opportunities to listen to concerts. There's nothing to beat going and sitting in front of the musician and listening. The whole energy is different. Yes, you can go on the live stream and
online. Yeah. It's not the same.
And there are those avenues also. take advantage of those. When we were growing up, we only had a tape recorder that also, came late. And then cassette tapes.
Right.
Whenever I was in Delhi, so not many Carnatic cassettes were available.
And you have to buy that.
We had to take 2 buses to go listen to a concert.
Correct.
We did all that. We did that. So that has helped, and we know that it helps. So now you have even more opportunities to do that, especially the Bay Area. So take advantage of all of that.
Absolutely.
But of course, nothing I cannot stress more about, practice and practicing properly the way your teacher says, and, write down your whatever things you're not getting, you didn't understand, and ask the teacher. We are there to help you if you ask. And it's a pleasure to teach kids that want to learn, who come prepared. We teach them something and they practice and come and show us what they did. It is a pleasure for us also.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that's one. Two, and another thing I want to, I tell my students is to collaborate with their peers,
Fellow classmates.
yes, practicing together, I think really helps.
That's a
Bond,
wonderful
you
idea.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, music, they can bond over music. They can talk about what they're learning, especially if the same group, if you're learning in the same group, or you're a junior or you're a senior, you
Yes.
can talk about, what's and help each other out. So having some group practice sessions and trying to collaborate, okay, you're playing like this. Why are you playing like this? Oh, I'm playing this. I'm not able to get this. What can I do?
Right.
So
Right.
that
Right.
one piece that I remember, and practicing together kind of leads to more ideas for you. So we used to do that at home. I was lucky to have, my mother is a singer, my sister is a singer, my brother plays Mridangam, my other sister dances, she learned Bharatanatyam. So, those days when we used to practice otherwise also, but these times kind of stay in your mind when there's monsoon season, electricity goes off, you cannot go out, there's nothing else you can do, you cannot study. We used to sit and practice.
Sit and jam.
We used to jam.
Jam. Yeah.
And I have such beautiful memories of, Savita singing and me playing violin, Suresh playing Mridangam, Savita, Saumya right there. We were
Dancing.
living in a
Yeah.
small home, all in the same room. Appa,
Right.
Amma will be listening, Amma will be taking the talam, Appa will be he likes to play tabla, we call it.
On the table.
On the
Table. Got it.
Those are some beautiful memories of
Think,
collaboration with jamming.
Right. I think what you just said is also, if I have to translate, it's like creating that environment in the house, right? Being a little bit more receptive to, even if you don't understand music, play music in the background, and be receptive to it. Like if the kid wants to jam, just go along with the flow and just encourage that, create that environment more and more in the house. I think that helps a lot.
Definitely. Also, maybe choose music.
Yes. Yes.
Instead of putting your child in so many different areas, create that passion in the child. If you want them to, then you try to not go into too many things. Of course, I won't say don't do sports, don't do that, but keep them to the minimum so you can have the time to
practice
on music.
And
Everything
it's
needs time.
right, and it's interesting that you say this because I recently read a study, a research paper that was published by University of Delhi, where the researchers have actually worked with 80-year-olds who had ADHD, and they had worked with them to teach them basic Sarali Verisais and how their attention has over a period of time has changed. I think maybe emphasizing some of these studies and maybe even just conducting some awareness program could actually help, because Carnatic music especially, I think it is not just the sound it produces, right? It has so much body and mind effect
Emotion.
that people actually oversee. So I hope we can bring out some of those aspects in near future as well, and I'm hoping to do that via this podcast at some point in time. Hopefully I'll have you back here for another session. And thank you so much. I think it has been a wonderful conversation. Do you have any closing thoughts to the listeners, the parents and the kids?
It was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much, Deepa, for having us. This was a pleasure, Deepa. Thank you. Thank you
Absolutely.
for giving us this opportunity to, give out our thoughts on music. My, I guess, closing thoughts would be Carnatic music is can be so many things. It can be meditative. It can be cathartic. It can be joyful. Just fun time. There's a lot in Carnatic music that you gain.
Mhm.
So choose Carnatic music and spend the time to understand uh, and make it more pleasurable for the whole world. And just take it to the next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Well said. Uh, Srinath,
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, first of all, thank you, Deepa, for
anytime.
having us. And I think together having each other, and we can give a varying and sometimes similar and sometimes differing thoughts. All those I think hopefully helped the viewers, and people can glean. What I would say in closing thoughts, I would say Carnatic music is very deep. It has
Yes.
withstood for hundreds of years, 300 years, 400 years, so many composers, so many ragams, so many talams, so much of talent, and so many offshoots of Carnatic music.
Uh-huh.
You hear suddenly a classical raga in a Bollywood song, suddenly it perks up, right? And everybody lights up. I think that's the importance of classical music, because there is a lot of classicism in it.
Mm,
People should understand, appreciate the value that it brings.
mm,
Don't look at what Carnatic music is not going to gain from your child learning from it. You are going to learn because you go to Carnatic music. It's the other way around. Do not look for what am I going to do if I do an arangetram. You see what all it will not do. You have to see what it is flourishing. It has flourished for 300 years. It will continue to flourish. You are not going to give anything to it. What can you gain from it? What
right.
life lessons can you learn from the composers, from the meanings of those songs, from those experiences, either as an audience or as an artist or just
Mm,
as a rasika?
mm,
So much to gain. I cannot even encompass that, right? It's larger than life, larger
yes.
than anything that see. So that's kind of my closing remark.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining me today. If this inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe.